Hey everyone, my name is Wahid Lutfi. I'm very excited to provide you this video today and mentor you on Windows operating system command line and how to use Python to run Windows operating system commands and programs, how to use IPython and run the Windows operating system command, and similarly the Jupyter Lab with running Windows operating system command and programs. So let's do a slideshow here so we can just get started. Again, we're going to discuss the Windows operating system commands that you can run and programs that you can run, as well as inside Python idle integrated development not light out, integrated development learning environment. And then also on IPython, which is interactive Python, and Jupyter Lab, which is a web interface that you can just run Jupyter Notebook and Jupyter Lab. Jupyter Lab is much better than Jupyter Notebook. If you're using the older version of Jupyter Notebook, don't use it anymore. It's just less privileges, features, and less kind of access, less kind of features basically. With Jupyter Lab, you have a lot more features to use, and it is a more robust, enhanced version of Jupyter Notebook. So we're going to do that one. In order to do it, I provide you this presentation, PowerPoint presentation, which is show you that what are the objectives. First, on this video, I'm going to show you Windows operating system commands and programs so you can execute Windows commands and operating system commands. And then once you are inside Python IDLE, which is integrated development learning environment, then you are going to just run a Python idle interpreter and run the Windows operating system commands. This is not just for Windows operating system commands. If you're inside Python, you can run any operating system command, whether it's Mac OS X, which is Unix, or Solaris, which is Unix, or Linux, which is Red Hat, CentOS, OpenSUSE, and Ubuntu, all of those ones, or Linux-based distribution. Whether they're Red Hat distribution or Ubuntu distribution, but they're Linux-based. So you can run those operating system commands inside the Python. I'm going to show you how to do it, the tricks and tips on it. And I'm going to also show you how to run Windows commands and programs in the interactive Python, which is IPython. And IPython has some features that the idle doesn't have. So inside the IPython, you could do some easy way to use as if it was similar to like an IDE. So you could do a tab and then just get the list of the modules that are available and the method that are available inside the modules. So that is very nice about interactive Python versus idle. But inside idle, obviously, once you load the Python, you can do everything that you can do inside IPython or Jupyter Lab. Otherwise, this would not be an integrated development environment altogether because all options are there within the Python. So whether you use the tool IPython, the programming language interpreter Python, or IPython, interactive Python, or Jupyter Lab, I'll show you how to run commands and programs inside those resources or tools that you're having it. So on the left, you can see the nice logos for those three ones that we are discussing in this case. And obviously, the first one, I have Windows operating system also. So those are very nice companies all together. They're making everything happen for you. So all credit goes for their logos to themselves at that time. Those are not mine, but I'm just giving them credit for making this resources available to all of us, whether it's the operating system or the open source like python.org or IPython or Jupyter Lab. Those are all available for us. So in this case, we're going to discuss the how to get help on Python, the syntax to get help from command line, whether you're on Windows or Linux or Mac. You type in Python dash dash help, and then dash dash help is the same syntax on all operating system, but the case sensitivity, if you're on Linux and Unix or Mac, make sure that it's all lowercase, Python or Python 3. When you type it in, whatever version you have, make sure it's all lowercase. On Windows, everything gets converted to uppercase, so whether you type in lowercase or uppercase on Windows, it is not case sensitive. It runs, it's fine. Get help on IPython. Interactive Python is the same thing, except instead of writing Python, you write IPython dash dash help. And with the Jupyter Lab, you do the same thing with Jupyter as the name, and then dash dash help or dash dash version. So I missed here as a typo. I had a dash dash version, but I meant a dash dash help. So Jupyter dash dash help would provide you help. Jupyter dash dash version is just gonna be showing you the version of all of them. Similarly with the IPython dash version. So here, this is all the information in terms of the version. If you want to know the Python version, you say Python dash dash version. And if you want to know the IPython version, you say IPython dash dash version. Again, the case sensitivity is only on Windows. On Linux, you have to write it all lowercase. And then for the Jupyter, you type in Jupyter dash dash version. And this command, Jupyter dash dash version, is going to give you Jupyter Notebook, Jupyter Lab, and all other details, because this is pointing to Jupyter dash core. So the our core is going to be provided you the output. I'm going to show that one in the lab activity. So to start Python, you just type in Python. To start IPython, you just type in IPython. To start Jupyter Lab, you type in Jupyter space lab. That will start Jupyter Lab, and it will just provide you an interface on the web, localhost port 88848, and then you are able to just write code inside the Jupyter Lab. So for the lab session, I'm going to just show you actually from IPython or Python or Jupyter Lab in the command line, including the Windows operating system. So we will show a lab activity after this. And then the last thing that I want to just show you a summary. We have learned how to run and execute Windows operating system. When we are finished with this course or this video, we are learning how to run operating system, whether it's Windows, Linux, or Mac. In this case, Windows programs inside Python. We run commands and programs inside IPython, and similarly, we run program and commands inside Jupyter Lab. And thanks for watching. I'm gonna go to the lab next. Don't drop off now. And make sure that you, if you like these videos, make sure that you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is MyWebUniversity free educational videos. The full URL is https on youtube.com at MyWebUniversity. At MyWebUniversity is my YouTube channel handle. Basically, if you go to youtube.com/@MyWebUniversity, you will be going to my YouTube channel, which I'm going to show you now before we just go further. This is the YouTube channel. So if you are looking at it, basically it has a lot of videos. I have a lot of videos in here, and that is Python, Windows, Linux, Unix, Word document, PDF files, Linux site, man pages, and then guides to stop hackers, running some NumPy modules and automated tools, Chat GPT. There's a lot of stuff for you to learn, C, C++, and then you're welcome to just like and subscribe and start learning. Also, I previously showed you the, let me just close this one, and I think this is the one for the page. I'm going to, that was for my Unix. I'm going to go to help underscore PDF. If you bookmark this page basically is MyWebUniversity.com, which is my website. I made the entire Windows operating system commands in PDF formats right here. You could get all the 63 commands. So for example, if you're looking for find a string command, say, what does find a string do? Find a string is looking for a string inside of another list of files or directories that you can just search. So you can just see the output is giving you in a PDF format nicely here, so you can read and start understanding it. I'm going to show you some examples of find a string today, and then this is the PDF file that you can learn it. Basically, I wrote the entire program of that one in Python, and also FPDF library, PDF generator on the Windows operating system 10 in this case. And I give full credit to every one of them. And if you just come in on this page, notice that if you're learning a FS statement, then obviously the FS statement inside Windows operating system, I'm providing you the PDF file here that you can just start learning. Same. And then if you're looking for another command like, let's say for statement, how the for loop works on Windows, you could do it. Obviously, every commands you could do like xcopy, copy, move, and all of those ones are similar. So the entire program, I wrote it in PDF, FPDF library generator of Python, and on the operating system it is there. Similarly, I did it for Linux for the entire 6,600 manual pages. So you're welcome to just read it. For example, if you click on Windows for the copy command, and you will see the PDF version of the copy text, and then start learning. When I said that I did the same thing for Linux, you could just say I'm here with the man for PDF. This would be just for Linux. You can see section 1 through section 9. All of them are about 6,600 commands and stuff that are there. You could just all get on one page. So just bookmark here, never buy a book, and then start learning. And for example, let's say I'm looking here under Curl programming, CORL. I search for it, and then right here, curl comes in, and then you get the curl in a PDF file. So you start reading curl for utility or programming language. In this case, it's a programming language as a command line. So you could learn the whole thing here. You can see a lot of stuff that are very nice here that you could just access them. So I showed you this, but now let's just go back to the part where we are going to show you the commands that I'm going to do on the Windows operating system. So I already opened a command prompt and I type in CMD, and it shows me that it's version 10 of operating system. And I wrote the system information, find a string /I, meaning ignore the case with. It is going to give me the operating system, and this is the detail. I'm just going to demo the same thing with some other commands as well on the Python and IPython Jupyter Lab next. So before I do that one, let me just show you on the Windows operating system. So if you go on the Windows operating system, say system information, by default, if you don't pipe it to this string searching for memory information, system information, it will give you everything about the system. It gives you the operating system, the memory, the CPU, the model. But then when you want to just fine tune it with a smaller number of strings that you say match only the model, then it's going to say, oh, system model is HP laptop. And it is telling you the gigahertz 0.31 gigahertz or 3 gigahertz or 3100 megahertz. You can see that it is there. And then the version, it shows you the version of the operating system. And then the date command, that /t means don't prompt me for changing the date. /t means just give me a date timestamp of the current time. So if I just do a date by itself, you can see it is prompting me. But if I do a date/t, give me the current date, which is today, Friday the 4th. Today is my day off, and I'm spending my time with you guys. I hope you guys enjoy it and learn it, and then subscribe. So I will provide you the best that is out there for programming languages, computer science related topics and subject. I have more than 30 years of experience in the prestige companies. I have worked as a developer, as a programmer, as a system analyst, consulting, operating system, senior essays, system analyst, and then software engineering. So I do have a lot of background, and I have taught a lot of classes at the university levels, and then whether it's at National University, Cal State Fullerton, Pasadena City College, I have taught a lot of. At my full-time job, I'm doing a lot of supercomputing environment. We call it high performance computing, and a lot of Linux, a lot of Unix, a lot of Docker stuff, virtualization, cloud computing, and all those things. And I want to just use my time to just on the weekend and holidays to bring you guys these videos so you can start learning and benefit those of you that cannot afford to attend college for free or for just buy books and that are expensive. So I provide you those tools on my website or YouTube channel. Here I'm going to just type in help or command lines help on Windows. When you type in help, you get all that information here. If I just type in CLS for clearing screen, it tells me. So I could type in help clear screen. It will just show me how the clear screen works. Help copy command. We could just get that command and copy. You can also do like a help X copy, for example, to get the X copy syntax and all that commands that are out there. You can get help on them, as well as sometimes you just want to execute a command, and if it's a long syntax, you can correct it afterward by consulting this help. Again, that PDF files that I showed you here, these are going to just be on a browser side, so you don't have to be sitting in front of a machine. Or the Linux one commands that I showed you on this one. You don't have to be sitting in front of a machine to just start learning Linux. All you do is just you need a browser and internet access, and whether you use your cell phone or anything on the browser, you can start learning and getting all these thousands of documentation online for free. And then same thing here. There's no Windows involved. I have not, everything that you do, it's just on my website. You get the output on my website there, okay? But when you're learning it from command line, you're setting based on the operating system that you're using. If you're using on a Linux, you have to be logged on a Linux machine. But on my website, I made it so robust that you don't need the Linux operating system or virtualization or Docker or something. You can just start learning, and I made the whole thing available for you. This other page that I showed you, let me just go here and say table of contents.html. On this one, I made the entire book that I wrote on Linux Ubuntu. It's called The Direct Path to Linux Ubuntu. The entire book, which is 8 chapters, are all online for free. So you just go there. In fact, the entire book is not just on text. I have videos for each one of them as you go on each chapters. And each videos could be 1 hour, 2 hour long. They're all in the particular chapter you will find them. So for example, if you're learning as a novice, you go to the basic Unix and Linux command. If you go and intermediate level, you go to chapter 3. Advanced level, chapter 4. Shell scripting, chapter 5. And all of these ones, I also provide you a way to run the command as well. So you can practice it yourself. For example, if you click on chapter 5 and then click on one of these session, I will provide you this command line syntax. So you type in like uname -a, and you can see that it is Linux operating system. You're running these commands on my web server, and the output is displayed back to you on your browser that you're using. So if you just say, what does ls minus l do? It just give you a long listing of what is pwd print working directly. It shows that one. What does calendar command do? It gives you a current calendar of this one. So for each of the command that you do, depending on whether the command is requires root privilege or security privilege, I don't allow it. And if you're just trying to create a file so you can delete some of my files, I'm not allowing those things. But if you're learning something, then I don't have the option here. Then most likely on one of those chapters, I have provided those. So like, for example, let's say here I'm just going to the main chapter, and then you want to say, how about chapter 2? I want to start learning the basics. And then you have these 33 commands, each one of them that you type in, and you will see the output. I mean, the examples that are showing, and then also, in addition, you could just see these videos for each one of them. I made the whole video so you can practice it as if it's in front of you, you're running the operating system. At the same time, if you're, let me just make this one bigger a little bit. It's too small. So if you click on the calendar, for example, notice here I say, what is calendar? Calendar display a calendar. So if you're learning the calendar command on Linux or Mac or Linux, this is your friend. Right here, I'm showing a lot of examples, like as if you're on a Windows operating system. All you do is click here on the cal, and then the command will run on my Linux server right here. And with this program that I wrote in Python, that is going to generate this output saying that your command was calendar, and then the output is here. So if you change this one to say, do a PWD here, and then it's going to just say user bin that command run. And if you just say run the command ls minus l, then it will just parse that one. It will give you the output. But if you don't know the syntax of how this becomes tokenized, then you might not be able to do it this way. You just have to come in here on the main page and then start practicing each one of them by clicking calendar of 9070 to see the entire calendar for 97. And if you say, well, I learned enough on the calendar, you can also get the manual pages on the calendar by just reading this one, which is another a Python program I wrote, and it will give you the entire manual page here. So if you say, well, I learned about calendar, let's say about cat command, then you can just get the manual pages about cat command. Any command you type in here, whether it's pwd or calendar or printf, you will get the output for that command. And then let's say, for example, the uname here. Uname, you just get the uname out. See here, and then all that. So let me go back here on the main page where this is. I'm going to go to chapter 2. You can also go like this, chapter 2.html, and then this will get me back to the where I started the calendar command. If I want to do like calendar command, you click on calendar. Notice that I'm showing you here a list of calendar, and what the cat command does is concatenate it. So let me just make it a little bit more bigger. Okay, that's too big. Okay, that's good enough. So you could see that this is the cat command, and then if I just click on this example, and then it's gonna just run the command cat etc networks, and this is the output. Because I have a dash n, it will just give me the dash n line number. Okay, I don't want to just concentrate on this one. I want to just come back to the IPython stuff that we were discussing. And then I was at the command prompt here when I showed you that you can do the same thing on Windows, you can do it on Linux. So let's run some commands here. On Windows, for example, if I just want to say CMD, it's going to tell me that it's the 10.0 version. If I exit out of this one, it is now the last session is open. It's going to get closed if I just uh, exit one more time. But if I say CMD twice, that means I have to exit twice in order to get out of that. If I do one more time, it's going to close my last command, and then that one just closed it completely. So I'm going to just go to the command prompt, open the new one, and notice by default it is going to open this, and it's going to drop to the profile of the user, which is myself, Wahid. I'm going to be able to run these commands and get the output /a, and then you can see that 3 commands and everything. So every command that you run, it may take a while if you just do it on a bigger directory. So here I'm going to clear screen directory of, let's say, demo. So the demo is that big, and then I could say just run the 3 command /a/f, and then show me all the files inside the 3 commands as well as those ones. So all the PDF files, everything that I generated, the IPython programs that are on the demos that is there, you can get a bigger list. If you don't want the /f, just an ASCII, then it's shorter, because I don't want to see files there. So some of these commands are really intuitive. We can run these commands to do it. And then directory, for example, is going to show run directory. But if I do a /s, it's going to just be a lot bigger list. So like the demo is going to show me that. Now if I say directory demo /s, including the subdirectories, is going to be similar to the 3/f. Okay, so I could cover Windows forever and then Linux forever. There's a lot to do, but this is not the objective of this video. The video is going to show you how you can run operating system commands on Windows, as well as run some programs. So if right here, if I do calc for calculator, notice I did not give any argument to it, and it opens the calculator. If I just say notepad and no arguments, it's going to open a untitled. But if I just want to create a notepad with an argument, say just one.text, then notice that it's going to prompt me, say, do you want to create it? I say, yes, create it. And then I say, this is a test. And then I'm going to save it and then exit out. So the file, the directory that I was here, it is there. I'm going to create it on /demo only, right there. So I don't have to just do my directory test one. Just create, save it there, and then I'm going to exit out here. I'm gonna go to demo one. I'm sorry, cd to demo, and directory test1.txt, and now I created that file. If I test1.txt, you can see that it says this is a test. So now if I say echo this is the end of file. So if I just write that one and I just double greater sign, meaning that overwrite this one with the end of it. Don't overwrite the whole thing, but write to the end of it, append to the end of it. So now type this one dot text as this is a test, and then also it appended this one. I did not have another echo in between them. So this is something that you can just go here, and then I can say notepad test one dot text. Now I'm going to open it, and then just press enter here, and then fill out this code here, and then just let's say for this purpose, I'm going to just get rid of this and see if I could just save it like that. And then now this time I'm not gonna put it within the code. We don't need, when we do the echo, we don't need that one to do the echo. And so type test one dot text, so that line is not just added. You see that the way it was there. So notepad test one dot text. I'm gonna delete this empty line and save it. So clear screen, type test one dot text. Now we have the two lines, and then the third line was also empty. So we could just open up Notepad and then say test one dot text, and then right here and just press enter, and now save it. And now if I just up arrow here, type it, now it's two lines and not, there's no empty line. So the Windows operating system is very flexible. You can do a lot of stuff. Now let's see how we use interactive Python to do the same thing. So I'm gonna clear my screen here. So the thing that I wanted to show you first about how to get help on the operating system. Help was the operating system was just help, okay? And when you want to do get help on Python, you say Python -- help. This will just give you the Python help, everything there. And then you can scroll or up or just do Python 5 more, and then you just see one screen at a time. And then when you see this more, you just press spacebar to see one page at a time. So that was for Python. IPython -- help is similar. So you run the IPython, and then again, if you type it more, it will stop one screen at a time, because the entire information for interactive Python is a lot. So it tells you some of the syntax and everything. You're welcome to read them and practice them. And so I'm moving a little bit fast because some of these ones are extra details that we have to go. Each one of them is going to take place. So now I'm going to clear screen, and this time say Jupyter. Jupyter, notice the way I wrote the name, it's like that. So Jupyter Lab help, it tells you all of these options that you can pass on, whether you want to get -h for help, or -- version, or -- config dir or something. It has a lot of details. I'm going to show you some of them. But then at the same time, available subcommands that are there. One of them are Jupyter Labs. Another one is Jupyter Notebook. But we don't want to use Notebook. When Jupyter Lab is available, use Jupyter Lab. It's an enhanced version of it. So all these kernel, execute, all of that one you can run. But let's just say Jupyter, we're gonna say -- version, version. And this one, when you do -- version, it's gonna give you the entire core, selected Jupyter core packages. Notice that this one is going to give you the IPython version, because interactive Python, IPython kernel, IPython widgets, IPython clients, IPython core, and Jupyter server, Jupyter Lab, notebooks client, notebooks convert, notebooks format, notebook itself, Qt console, and then trade threadlets, and that's, I'm not sure what is that, threadlets, some kind of widget or commandlet, or maybe for PowerShell, but or maybe Python environment. So let's look at one that is like Jupyter, and instead of dash version, you could say config -dir. So on your Windows operating system, you know that the directory of where Jupyter directory is there. So if you do, this is a hidden directory dot Jupyter, and then you can see that there's actually the lab and migrated and notebook config. All your settings are saved there. So in addition to the config you can get this command, or you could say that path. So you could see the path. And if you forgot the rest of the argument, you can always type in Jupyter help, and it will give you that. So the data dir and then path or JSON. And JSON is going to show you that JSON is only used with dash dash path. So dash dash path, you can give that one, and will tell you all the paths that are used for it with runtime. So runtime dir is there, and then config and everything else. But at this time, let's clear the screen and then say Python dash dash version. So Python dash dash version will give you the Python, and then IPython dash dash version will give you the version of IPython, and then Jupyter dash dash version will give you the Jupyter core packages, which is all of them that we listed. And this is a useful information if you're interested to know what version of what you're running, and then that way you can get the entire thing. Okay, so we talked about that, how to get that Python and IPython and Jupyter help, and how to get the version. Now we're going to go to the demo for each one of them. So let me clear the screen here. I'm going to say Python here, and then notice that Python is here, and when you go through the idle Python by itself, it's going to just open the Python interpreter, and this is a 3 greater sign symbol. It's basically a way of saying that what is your prompt. And then there's a sys module, and it's called PS1, prompt shell 1. You can change that one to just change it to a different kind of a prompt. You want to do that one, that's fine. But I'm just showing the default setting right now. So let's use, when we do the dir, notice that operating system commands is not loaded. And I cannot use commands like I can do inside IPython and Jupyter. I have a little more kind of features like aliases and then magic list and so on. Then we have a lot of those ones. But Python, you don't have it, but we can load the module to get to use those commands. So outside of IPython, for example, inside of IPython, you can run like a bang or 2 bangs, and then run the command. But then in here, you cannot do something like this. The bang is not recognized. So if I get out of here and then say IPython, notice that I'm getting to this prompt, and notice here I can say bang, and then the directory command, and I can get that one. Or bang bang directory command, I can get that one. Or bang to the screen, and then clear my screen. Or just the alias, list of aliases, I can get that. But let me just get back to the Python. So clear screen, I'm going to get to Python again, do a dir here. At this time, I'm going to just run one command here. That is import OS. So we import the OS module, and then inside the OS module, obviously, if you want to get help from OS, you can do this one, OS, and you get all the syntax and semantic, everything that you want to read about, you can understand it. But let's say I want to clear my screen. Remember that I have bang on IPython or Jupyter notebook and clear screen. Here I cannot. I have to do OS.system and then just do a clear screen argument here, and then that will clear it. So here, instead of the OS.system, I can say OS.system and then pass in the argument there. And then this would just run the directory command here. And then if I just want to do directory /w with the white information, I can get that. So if I just want to say, give me the director of test1.txt. Let's clear the screen again. And this time I'm going to just say run the directory slash test1.txt. If I want to see the file, notice that this file we created it. So I can do also say, and instead of the directory, I can use the command 5 like this. So that would just display that one. If I want to just copy that file as another file, say make a copy of that one, copy this1.txt, and then call it this2.txt. Now I have that one file copy. If I just say now, show me the directory of both of them, I can do that one and I get the both of them. And if I just say type both of them on the screen, then I can do it. And you can see each file, it is displayed there with the output. And the first one is test1.txt, and this is the output. The second one is test2.txt, and that's the output. So now if I want to just delete test2, I could do that one. There of a delete of test2 now. Test2 is deleted. If I do again, directory of test star, then it will just only show one. But if let's say I go that copy command that I did here, I run it again, and this time I'm going to do directory command with everything. Instead of, I could do asterisk, or I could say only one character there, so just run that question mark, replacing that one character. So one question mark is an irregular expression in this case, is replacing any character that is before the dot. But if you wanted to replace two characters, then you have to do two question mark. But instead of putting so many question marks, and also a lot of here, and then you say to start with T, and then I don't know about the rest of them, but it ends with the text, and it will just find those ones. So like here, we could also run the command like 3/f on this one. We'll just run the entire thing. And then as you see that it is huge because of I'm on that directory, I could have just control C out of it and then say /A, and then that would default. You can do that one. And then what other things you could do, like if you want to run an operating system command like ipconfig. So ipconfig, it gives you all the operating system IP addresses and details here. You can get the host name of this machine. Since I'm shutting down this machine, there's no security involved here. That somebody might just say, why you're showing me all these things? And that is your IP address and this and that. This machine is basically, after I make the video, it's not going to be the same machine anymore. And not, or it's going to be wiped out. So if I just do a clear screen here, and I just run the clean command, thing on google.com, for example, you can see that it is running for number of hops, and then packets that's coming, and then if I just do an lookup on to see what is the name server lookup you can do, and if you say show me the A record or of this one, what is equal to A, that means the IP record, which is at 100. If you say, show me the MX record, maybe let's change the record. And there's a lot of other details so you can do it. And then here, these commands that we are doing with this are not just specific to one. But let's do something else here. We're gonna do something like directory of C colon Windows system 32 slash sort of DLL. So you can see all the DLL files that you want to see, dynamic link libraries that are huge on that Windows system 32, or the drivers etc directories. So these commands are just giving you option to read more inside the operating system while you're inside Python. Isn't that cool? That you can just get so you can just start a calculator here and you just say calc. Similar to the way that you did that one. Now calculator comes in, you say 8 times 9 is equal, and then you get 72, and then you say, okay, good, we got the calculator. And obviously, on the thing, you can just say 8 times 9 inside that Python, it's easier. Or 8 times 9, you can just do that kind of calculation inside the interpreter itself. You can do addition, multiplication, formulas, anything. There's all kind of formula. Math modules is full of these kind of methods. And then you can also do like square root, for example. Square root of to the power of 10. Well, square root is not there by default, so you have to import math first and just say import math as m, then say m dot square root of to the power of 10. That's going to give you 2 m dot. Let me see. Takes exactly one argument. Okay. Yeah, square root actually is not going to be like that. So a square root of 49 with 7. It takes one argument, like 100 would be this. But I was thinking of power function when I did this one. To the power of power function is to the power of that one is 10. And to the power of 5 is going to be 2. So you can do those kind of stuff with it. But with inside the NumPy, let me do OS.system and then clear the screen here. I'm going to show you one more thing here before OS.system. So here I'm going to just show you another technique. In addition to running commands, sometimes your command requires more arguments. Obviously, you could do something like this: system info find string /I, and then memory. So you can get the system memory information and then run this one, find the string, no idea. So you will get that one, and then notice that I'm getting a 0 here, meaning that this system function call is an operating system, it's written C, and then return level is 0, meaning it's unsuccessful. So if I just change this one to OS name, and you can see that runs also successful with a 0 at the end of it, like this. And it gave me that one. Similarly for the model that we did earlier, so that would show you the CPU. But I don't want to see the 0 every time. So in order to do it, you have to use a different method inside of the NumPy. So let me clear the screen here. Instead of getting this way for find string, or maybe just the operating system was a little bit more information, I'm gonna stream that one into another command. So I could say stream is equal, and I'm gonna say os dot type open or process open, and then I'm gonna just write this command here, and then paste it here, and then just run that command, system information, find a string. Notice that whatever string that you start here, you have to close it the same way at the end. Here I started with single quote and close it with single quote. In between I have used double. Here I use double quote, and then in between I use single quote. As long as you do that one, you're fine. But make sure that you just don't start with single quote and ending it with double quote or vice versa. So now this command runs, but this time I'm going to, instead of just running this one, now I have the data written in the stream here. So it is just a little bit slow. Just come by now. So I'm going to say output. My prompt came out. So output is equal stream read. We're reading the data into output and then print out. Notice that let me just redo that one. So stream. Let's start type open. Open. I'm gonna just run a simple clear command first and say output is equal stream read, and then say print output. And you can see that output is coming as a stream, but there's no zero here. So if I just do the same thing in this little command, I can say find or actually system info. Let me clear the screen first, and I'm just turn output. So this was I could do a clear screen this way too. os.system clear screen, because the clear screen is not an output that we can display here. And then you can also do with the program itself, print the statement itself. So like I just run this command, say enter command and then help command, help this, and then I say, well, just on my screen, I could also say print a new line character times 50, let's say 50, and then that would just clear the screen here. And then similarly, I could do the OS clear command, so I could have the top thing back on the top. So let's go back to the original example of that stream. Okay, sneeze. I need to sneeze. So let me just say stream is equal what is it, stream, and then I'm going to say os dot process open. I'm gonna run the command here, say, or the command I'm gonna say system info, and then find string slash find string slash I, and then I'm gonna say memory, so we can get the memory information, and then just close it, and then I'm going to run that one. Now notice that is going to put it into the stream, and then I say stream, okay, output is equal stream dot read, and then print out. So now we have the memory. That's how you can do that. So similarly, if you just want to do the megahertz, let's say megahertz, and there you will get that information, and then once that output is coming, then you're going to do out the stream, and you just print it. You see the output is stream here. So we covered enough on the Python. I'm going to exit out of Python, and then I'm going to clear my screen here, and then just use IPython instead. Same thing that we did with Python. I'm going to do some examples with interactive Python. The nice thing about interactive Python, it has some kind of option that kind of similar to IDE. It gives you a lot of kind of like pressing tab. It gives you command completion as well as just color coded. So you could say there of this, not this, the color is different colors. Sometimes on the background it is kind of conflicting, which is kind of a headache if you just don't use the right color. But inside here on the Python, when we do health here, notice that this there. And if you just press enter, and then now I could say bang or exclamation mark and clear screen, it will just clear my screen. And if I just say bang directory, I could run that command here. Or bang bang directory, it will run the same thing. The difference between the bang and then the bang bang is much more kind of friendlier. If I just do something like dir here and then just say bang clear screen and then say exclamation mark or bang, I could say system info. This will give me a lot of information about the system with one bang. But then if I just say um, system um, system info and then type find a string slash I and then say megahertz, and then when you do something like this one, you need to do two bangs. If you do it with one bang, sometimes one bang might just work. Sometimes it depending on the shell and then the way it is working. Sometimes an argument to a command may not be parsed correctly. So with the two bang or using the system and open things that is still there. So the nice thing, other thing is that here you have also aliases. So some of the operating system commands that are already there, it gives you a list of aliases that you can use inside Python. So you can use the bang or the command, like for example, echo, this is test. You can write that one inside the Python or directory command. If a directory command is directory slash on is ls, as an alias, you could just type in ls. So if you want to do directory slash n, then that's a ls command equivalent. So some of the aliases are available for you. You can practice them. In addition, there's also tab stuff. So clear screen here. You can say, for example, bang and then directory, and then let's say you can say import OS. So I'm going to import OS now. Say dir of OS. Now if I press tab, as soon as I tap, and then it's going to say, well, there's a lot of commands that are available. Are you interested on system, popen, get environment, get current working directory, get login, or something else? You could just get all that. So like system, as soon as I do system and then press tab, now this says system is available and system is available. So I could say system and then run the command here, say clear screen, and then just close it, and then that will, I did a dir actually, so, and instead of the dir, I could just print, and that will clear my screen. So similarly, if you say import numpy as np, now I could just get a list of np dot, and then I say tab with all the commands that are for NumPy module that are available inside IPython. So I could create an array, I could create all kind of range, or create zero arrays, or just do something with it, sine, cosine, and all kind of formulas here. Math calculation. Please watch my NumPy modules. I have already uploaded NumPy 1 through 7, and I'm still in the process of doing pandas and NumPy with more kind of images. There's also already, I have done pillow modules on the Python, which is images, and then request modules for the web. So please watch those ones. Here, this is very intuitive here. So I could say, for example, numpy.array, and then here I could just give the argument, say, create an array of 1, comma 2, comma 3, and so on, just 1, 2, 3, and then just do this. And now say array numpy.array, and I did not close it here. So if I just do this one, it will do that data type everything. But I need to assign that one to an A array, and then now say type of A. I could get that information here and say A itself is that this print of A will give me the actual 1, 2, 3. So you could just do a lot with it, but I'm just showing you that A, like info, numpy.info. Notice that as soon as you gave this one, if you press A, I was giving you all the options of there. A button, then tap, you could say item size, for example, to get the item size, A dot data type, for example. I could see D and then press enter, and it will tell me the data type is there, and so on, all this information are there. So I could say data type, show me the data type. A dot, say, for example, number of dimension, you can get it, or say A dot n, and then press tab, and then the number of dimension comes in from IPython interpreter. So what I'm showing you here, these options are available for you. Okay, so if you just run the operating system, I showed you the operating system. You can still do like OS.system, and then do the operating system clear screen command here. You can even create a list here, similarly on IPython. I did not show you that. I could say ls, well, the coloring, I don't like it, so I'm not going to demonstrate the list here because it's tedious to watch it. And here I'm going to do that one on Jupyter. So clear screen is the one Jupyter Lab. And then Jupyter Lab is another tool that you could run. And this one is going to provide us a web interface. And when we have the web interface, I'm going to demo how to run the aliases, how to run other stuff. And then one other thing that on inside IPython CMD, I'm going to open a command prompt, leave that one on the side here. While it's happening, I'm going to show you one more thing on the command prompt. On this command prompt, I forgot to show you on IPython, you can also do ls magic list of things that are available. So let me show you with the percentage. You could just say percentage ls magic, and then this gives you a list of all the magic that are available here, available line magic and available cell magic. So you can get into the bash, for example, or the command prompt. If you're on Windows, you will see the percentage command. And if you're on a Linux, you can do a bash to get it. You can write HTML code. You can write all kind of, even you can do a different version of Python. Python 2.3, you can see here, you can run those ones as well. And then also these other list of magics that we did. So you can run the system commands also, similar to the bang, and the dirs command and other ones that are there, and ls command. So it is all available, like percentage ls, for example, and then it will give you the list of percentage dir command. Similarly to one that is there, dir itself is a bang dir. You could get that. Okay, so I'm going to exit out of this one. We're done with this IPython. We're going to come back to Jupyter. Jupyter Lab, when you started it, I started with Jupyter Lab Space Lab, and now it says that either you can go to localhost port 8888, that is by default, or 127.0.0.1, which means it's a loopback interface that is by default. It's going to take me to the same place. So I'm going to go to the browser, and actually it was already here. I'm going to just say clear workspace and close this other one. So this one, when it comes in, this is my localhost port 888 lab. and this is going to just open the Jupyter Lab interface by default. It's a little bit slow. It depends on how many other things that you have open. I'm going to close some of these ones. I no longer need them. And then this one I don't need it. This one I do need it. And then this file I don't need it anymore. This one I do need it. So I'm going to leave it here. And this one, it should come up now. It's really slow. Waiting for localhost. How long? I was afraid that this is going to just be a bottleneck, but sometimes we can give it less than a minute. And if it doesn't come, I will just restart it. Okay, I'm going to pause the video so I can just restart it and doesn't kill your time here. Okay, as you can see, I stopped that process and then rerun the Jupyter Lab on the new session. Jupyter Lab is started and it is just telling me that I'm okay to go to Jupyter Lab on localhost 4888. By default, this is the interface that it opens up. If you want to open a file here, you can just go to these folders and go through them. I don't need to, so I'm going to click right here. So the entire interface looks nicer here for me because I can always get into the terminal and then inside the terminal, I can run the PowerShell commands or Windows command here to see what directory I am by default and what files I can create and everything. So since I'm a user YP directory here, my shell, when I started the Jupyter notebook, also was on user YP. So whatever directory that you started, that's where you end up having this directory here. So if I go back to the list of options that I have a lot of stuff that I have here that I can do, including Python and then text files and everything else. But I'm going to open up IPython kernel, kernel, and I'm going to just name this one something. So let's rename this one to, instead of Untitled 4, we could just rename it to say Jupyter for the Windows, right? So that is what we are going to call it at this time. And here, if I just say percentage aliases and then just run it there, and you can see that alias comes in. So percentage directory, for example, percentage directory will also run the directory command, but the directory was not there. Percentage ls was pointing to the directory. So that is the same thing as running percentage like bang and directory slash on, like on, all of them. So you could get the same output here with that one. But here, as you can see on the alias, all the list of the aliases that you have are available here. That means I could run makedirm and so on. But at the same time, I can run the operating system commands with this command, like hostname. We'll just say, and then I could say, let's say on the hostname and then direct d/t. I want to get the hostname output and also on this one at this cell. So I run those two commands and you can see the hostname is shown first and then the directory command here. And then if I say, and let's look up google.com, I should say also, and let's look up MyWebUniversity.com. So I could get the name server lookup on those IP addresses of those two domains. One is Google and the other one is MyWebUniversity. It is there. And then some other commands, similarly, I could say bang and say dir command. You can get two bang also same thing with as one bang. And then here, if I just change this one to system info slash find, and this time I'm not going to do find the string. I'm going to do find slash I and then OS name. So if I could do this one, it's going to run that command, and then it's going to give me the output. This command, because it's inside the Jupyter, is going to be a little bit time consuming. As you can see, it finally gave it. Now, if I just change the same command, notice the difference between find command as the argument and find a string. Find a string is a little bit more detailed, and so you will see that it is matching more than one related information. So if I just do the same thing with this command of um, like this, I could get that command Jupyter, and then instead of this one, let's say I search for memory, and then I just run it. That would give me the memory information on the system. Similarly, if I want to get a model, for example, I could just use one command, one bang, also system info and then find string slash I and then model. Then this one will just give me the model of the system. System info, I must have typed it wrong. So instead of system, I put M, I wrote the system with N. That's why it failed. And now it's going to work. And it gave me the output that I wanted to get. So what else we could do? We could run operating system. So operating system commands with a system function called similarly to Python and IPython. Here I could say import OS and then say os.system, and then I'm going to just clear my screen and then just run this one. Since I'm clearing the screen on the cell, it's not gonna give me much, but it's gonna just say, okay, that cell is there now. I drop to another cell. And instead of this one, and let's say I'm running the host, it's gonna just give me the host name information. But notice that it gave me a 0, meaning successfully, and I'm not getting output here. If I want to get the output here, I have to do a different technique, which is instead of that one, let's say I run OS, I say string is equal, and then I'm gonna say OS dot process open or type open, and say the command name is host name, and then say right, name, and I need to close it with the code, and then say output is equal stream dot read, then print output. So this is going to give me the 0 because of the first argument, and then the next one is going to just print me the actual output of the desktop here. So notice that this one, because I did a print and I didn't do a print here, so that print itself actually did not show, because inside the Jupyter Lab, I'm actually doing a print, so it overwrites the other ones. But if you do the print statement, that 0 will print. So here I can comment that one, say don't print the 0. I know that that is going to be just giving me the desktop and it's there. And if I just replace this command with more than one command, I could do that one, or just say, let's say in this case, I'm going to do a ipconfig command and type more. If that will just give me the output with more details, but notice that this one is giving me all the information here in one shot. I didn't have to do the pipe more. So I could just take this one out and run this one. And still is gonna just be working for me the way I want it. In addition, what else you could do with the operating system command? So if I just don't do it this way, what other way I could do? This one, you can run this command, and let's run more than one command here. Okay, so since I did this one, I'm going to just wipe out all of this. I'm going to just rewrite this one. If I just collide this thing, now this one is just that. I'm going to say stream. Actually, create a list first. Let's say my commands, or just call it commands. A list of commands. Commands, and then it's equal. I'm gonna just say a list of commands. So, and this hosting followed by the date slash t, and then one more command. That's all I want to do. So the next command would be a directory command. Um, that's good enough for three commands we could run on it. And then now what we need to do is say use a for statement for CMD and commands. So if I just say print command, notice this one is going to just basically give me the list of commands that I have here. So what happened here is commands. I just wrote it inaccurately, maybe. Let me just say commands. Sometimes typo could be off, so commands is not defined somehow, and that A was missing. The O was missing. Commands. So the commands is okay, but here I mistyped it. So now we did this one. It is going to show me these commands. But in order to do this one, let's just do another technique here. And instead of just doing that, I'm going to this time not run that command. I'm going to say stream is equal. I'm going to say list.pipe open or cross open. And then I'm going to just open the command. Then I'm say output is equal stream dot read, and then just print output. Notice that if I don't have any typos, it should run everything successfully in the output or there, which I don't. So you can see I don't have any typo. It ran the host name, which was the output here, then the date slash t, which is this output, and then the directory, which is this output. Okay. Let's just change one more thing here on the directory. I want to do directory slash w, and then see how the command affects it. So the output is smaller rather than too big. You can see that it is there. And then here, you can do whatever you want to do. Instead of the directory, if I want to say, run another command like open a calculator. And so this one will just run these commands, and then at the same time, when you run the date, and after that one, it opened this calculator here. And then the calculator is open right here. So you can see it. And then if I just want to change this test here, instead of opening a calculator or running the date command, we can just say run the notepad. So you can run the programs here to just do this. The notepad will open right here, and then this is the notepad, and then followed by the calculator will open next, and this is the calculator, and then you can close that one, then your program ends. So this was a very long video, actually not short video, because I had to cover like four different things on this. One, as you can see on the topic that we were doing it, Windows operating system I covered, the Python, how to run interactive command inside the Python interpreter, also how to run Windows operating system on IPython, and also how to run the Windows operating system inside Jupyter Lab, which we just finished. And so to summarize it, this is basically what we have covered. Run and execute Windows operating system commands with arguments and everything. as well as some programs, and then execute the Windows command inside the Python interpreter, and execute Windows operating system inside the IPython and Jupyter Lab. And thanks for watching. I hope you subscribe so that way I could just make better videos and meet your needs. Make sure that when you make some comments, if there's anything that you want me to improve for your needs, let me know. God bless you all. Take care. Have a nice one. Bye bye.